real, let's review. What's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go. That's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, Nat chins, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. But rants.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Tuesday evening. Got an absolutely loaded show for you guys. Hey, might have been a slow news weekend and maybe a slow news Monday. Not a slow news Tuesday. We got quite a bit today and an absolutely loaded show for you guys. Hopefully some audio corrections tonight. Don't know what happened last night midway through our sleeper segment. We had an audio lag for about 10 seconds. Audio completely dipped out. And then we had some audio latency. Hopefully YouTube has fixed those things. We did all of our due diligence in-house. So make sure you're coaching us up there in the chat. What's up?
Pure work from the ops.
That's what I'm thinking. Pure work from the ops. They're like, hey, can't have them have that much motion in the middle of late June.
Of course not.
Can't have that happening. So hopefully YouTube is on the right thing or right side of things tonight. But nonetheless, we're going to go do some work tonight, as we always do on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. An absolutely loaded show. NFL says no to Brendan Sorsby, which makes Brendan Sorsby's camp say, of course, I'm going to sue you. Okay. We got 5 to play 5 rule officially implemented. We got all the details around that. Pretty straightforward ruling, though. Even though it's a straightforward ruling, I'm going to imagine there's going to be some lawsuits due to that one. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Louisville in a little bit of financial trouble. I would say Louisville a little bit behind the times, as I read today. We're going to talk about that. Early superlatives to hand out tonight on tonight's show as well. But I want to make sure you're doing what I need you to do, which is, of course, to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you're telling a friend about this place, especially as the season starts to approach and things start to ramp up. We're going to have a lot more content coming out and a lot of news to announce. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're staying locked in, hitting that like button, making sure you're subscribed, and damn sure making sure you're telling a friend, spreading that good news. For there is a ball knower. There is a place of ball knowledge on the internet, and it is the Film Guide Network. Make sure you're running and sharing that news. Kirby, let's start with Brendan Sorsby. Feels like we've been here for the last 2.5 weeks. We're going to continue to be here for a little bit because the big bombshell dropped today. NFL announced today that they won't be having a supplemental draft. It is their prerogative. They get to announce whether or not they're going to or not. They said no, they will not be having an NFL supplemental draft this year, and did so in a very strongly worded letter, which I felt the need to read to you today. Now, it is rather lengthy. You can feel free to tune me out if you want to. I got the bullet points right after it, but I haven't seen the NFL issue a letter like this, nor have I seen anybody in this entire process actually place consequences at the feet of Brendan Sorsby. And by God, it was the NFL that did so today in a letter. Oof is right. Oof is right. Quote, "We are in receipt of your petition for special eligibility dated June 16th, 2026. As announced earlier today, the league has elected not to conduct a supplemental draft this year. Under our collective bargaining agreement, the league retains a sole discretion to determine whether it is appropriate to conduct a supplemental draft in any given year. The league has not conducted such a draft for several years, and prior to your submission, the league had no plans to do so this year, as no other player has sought entry. Your petition filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. The issues presented by your petition are too significant and too closely tied to the league's core integrity interests to permit meaningful review within the timeline presented. The sole reasons identified in your petition for seeking entry into the supplemental draft are that you have been, quote, declared ineligible by the NCAA and have, quote, exhausted all of your avenues to continue in the NCAA and, quote, want to play now in the NFL. The petition provides no information regarding the basis for or timing of the NCAA's decision. Public sources, however, indicate that in May of 2026, the NCAA issued a determination declaring you permanently ineligible for participation in collegiate athletics based on a sustained pattern of improper gambling activity during your collegiate career at 3 different universities. The league does not have the complete record of the NCAA's investigation, and you did not provide any such materials with your petition. Available information nonetheless indicates that over the course of your collegiate career, you knowingly engaged in repeated and significant violations of NCAA rules designed to preserve the integrity of athletic competition. Reported conduct includes placing wagers on your own team and teammates, and to avoid detection, establishing or funding accounts in the names of intermediaries who placed bets on your behalf. There are also reports that you may have violated state criminal law. Your petition does not address any of these matters, nor does it demonstrate accountability for your conduct or indicate whether or how you would adhere to the league's rules and policies governing the integrity of competition. Instead, even after receiving your notice of the NCAA's decision rescinding your collegiate eligibility in May, you sought to avoid the consequences of that determination through litigation rather than accepting responsibility for your actions, and you pursued entry into the NFL only after abandoning those efforts. As Commissioner Goodell has emphasized, participation in the NFL is a privilege that carries with it significant responsibilities, including accountability. By all accounts, you are a talented player with potential for future success. We encourage you to focus on preparing for possible entry into the 2027 annual draft. Couple of things here. I got 5. 1, Sorsby's camp last-minute motioned this thing, turned it in 3 business days before the deadline with no information or no documentation. The NFL told their camp today, your application was not complete at all. You gave us nothing. You basically said, I tried to get away with it there. They didn't let me. Can I play in your league? They half-assed their own entry into the supplemental draft. That's 1. 2, the league wanted to actually wait for the NCAA investigation because, to my knowledge, the NCAA is the only one investigating this. This did not get handed over to state law. This did not get handed over to federal law. The only body investigating Brendan Sorsby is the NCAA. And I believe that was a caveat made because the NCAA took over the investigation. Thus, the interstate laws didn't apply or couldn't be waged in court, essentially. Number 3, the NFL brought up the fact that state laws might have been broken. They're the first ones I've seen in terms of a governing body or an organization or a league or a team or anybody to actually bring up the fact that state laws might have been broken. In fact, the only people that have been mentioning that are crackpot people on Twitter, people that hate Texas Tech, Red Raider fans would tell you, right? Oh, those aren't state laws. No laws. I don't know. Having somebody else bet for you, I don't know if that necessarily goes by state laws. Betting under the age of 21, which most of these allegations occur, I don't know if that's legal, right? Like all of these things. The NFL, the first one I've seen actually bring that up. Number 4, the NFL thought, he should receive consequences and had been dodging consequences all the time, the entire time, like the rest of us. Mm-hmm. I think that's why I clutch so many pearls, Kirby, is because of the statement of, hey, I have an addiction. I have a mental health problem. So my consequences are null and void because I have a problem. That's not how consequences work. That's not how addiction works. Not how any of this works. Normally, if you have a problem and you broke rules during your problem, you kind of have to suffer the consequences for the rules that you broke in the midst of your problem. The NFL felt the same exact way based off their letter today. Number 5, the thing I want to bring up to you last, from the NFL standpoint and from my opinion, this is the first punishment, and this is the punishment that he will receive, right? You'll have to sit out for a year. That's the punishment we're giving you. And we're giving you that punishment because you ducked it everywhere else. You did everything you could to duck this punishment everywhere. You ducked it in college football. You tried to duck it and sue it and duck it and duck it and duck it. And you're ducking these consequences. We're going to make you serve this consequence. We're going to make you sit out for a year and enter your name into the 2027 draft. And what was Brendan Sorsby's camp's reaction to the fact that they were actually going to have to face consequences? I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to try to duck that one too because it's against your own NFLPA agreement, which I, for the life of me, don't understand. How can you sue on behalf of the NFL Players Association when you are not an NFL player? That doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense, which brings me to my final point. Brendan Sorsby, if you're listening today, run. Run from everybody involved in your decision-making process. Run from everybody in your camp. Run from your agent. Run from your lawyer. Run from your coach. Everybody. Run from them all. They do not have your best interests in mind. I don't think they do. We've made wrong decisions at every single possible turn. And you aren't the one talking. Everybody else has made all these bad decisions for you, it seems. Please run from everybody. Anybody involved in any of this decision-making, run. Also, start to accept a little accountability on your own, right? I think he needs a complete washing in his camp, Kirby. Everybody washed. What I can't believe is the idea that they were TKO'd by the Big 12 before intro music was even played, before we even heard the glass shatter, before we even saw actual litigation in court. They backed out. So, whoa, I ain't smoking. I ain't want no smoke with the Big 12. So what they do? They turn around and sue. They want to threaten to sue the NFL. The final boss. That's where we're going next. Seems like a little bit of an escalation for me. By the way, this all started because my man self-admitted an addiction, right, Kirby? Mm-hmm. Self-admitted an addiction. I just looked it up. I was obviously addicted to alcohol for a long time, kicked it for 3.5 years. Now, I've never been to an AA meeting. I think I'm going to go to one soon just to see what it's all about. But from my understanding, at least my walk with addiction, all right, it's pretty simple, okay? Every step so far has been in avoidance, right? We've avoided all consequences of our addiction. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying every bit to squirm out of these problems that we've created through our addiction. Normally, most addicts will tell you that the first step to recovery is admittance, right? Admittance of what your problem is. And I don't think at any point we've ever seen any of that. We admitted we had a problem, went the 35-day in-house recovery stint, but there doesn't seem to be any type of accountability for the things that we did while we had this addiction. And any AA meeting, any addiction recovery process will tell you to confront the problems that were created through your addiction. Confront them head on. Go see them. Go see the people you hurt. Go talk to them. Tell them you're sorry. Face those things. Don't run from them. What did we learn in our 35-day instant? I highly doubt they taught you this. And it's been all avoidance left and right. There is only one way. Not to be all holier than thou, not to be self-righteous. There is only one way. It is admittance and it is acceptance of what we have done and then getting over it and suffering the consequences and then moving on, being born anew. That's how that works. That's my thought process on this. We are ducking everything we possibly can. We tried to sue the Big 12, lost, didn't even go to fight. Now we want to turn around and threaten to sue the NFL? That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to discuss just how poorly this situation has been handled by he and his camp. I think the funny thing about it to me is that you are making yourself so unlike, like even let's say in a hypothetical world, Sorsby's camp and those players and that lawyer group has something to stand on, and they have legs when they sue the NFL, and there's a long, dragged-out case that takes place between Brendan Sorsby and the NFL. And let's say Brendan Sorsby wins it. What of those 32 NFL teams are going to want him on their team, after you have scratched and clawed to avoid any and all accountability, any consequences of your actions.
Kirby, if they actually go through with this, if they actually try to sue the NFL, there is no way that case is concluded by the 2027 NFL draft, which means we're going to go into next April with you thinking you're about to get drafted while simultaneously suing the league in which you hope to be employed by.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about hustling backwards. It makes no sense. I think it's false flag. It's a straight up threat.
Oh, it's a bluff.
100% empty threat is what this is. Buddy, at some point, take your lick and keep moving. And right now, we're just delaying it. We're delaying it. One spanking now or 17 later. Just take the spanking now, dude.
That's what, like, also, like, from a logistics standpoint, this makes no sense. You just got paid $5 million to walk away from Texas Tech. They gave you the money. From everything I understand, he was given all the money he was promised when he transferred there. You have $5 million. It's not like you are in desperate need of funds right now. Take a load off for the season. Hell, go play in the CFL if they'll let you for it's 1 year, and then enter the NFL draft. I mean, it's not the end of his career. I'm sure in 2027 there will be one team that at least takes a chance on him, maybe not in the first or second or third round, but they will sign him because of the prospect that he is, and there will be enough people capering for him and saying that he's one of the best quarterback prospects out there. There's just, a gambling issue. Whether or not we agree with it, that's going to happen. So the idea that you're going to go through this much trouble, this much fighting, and this many issues and tarnish your name even more to the point of one season where you're going to be a rookie, which, by the way, you've already missed a handful of mini camps and mandatory meetings and things like that. You'd be so far behind the 8 ball anyways, you wouldn't start in 2026. Just wait till 2027. You just quietly say, you know what, you're right, I've made a mistake. I'm willing to live with the consequences of that mistake, and I'm looking forward to continuing my career in 2027.
Yeah, whatever money he got out of Texas Tech is about to be washed in legal fees if we continue this.
Yeah.
I highly doubt. I shouldn't say that. I would imagine he got some type of financial help in the battles that he was fighting while he was a Texas Tech Red Raider. Would you agree?
For sure.
I highly doubt he had to fit that bill by himself. There was probably something going on there, I would imagine. That seemed like a collaborative effort. 22 minutes worth of a podcast between 4 decision makers at Texas Tech, so much of a collaborative effort. This one, however, you walking through the desert on this one by yourself. Again, run from everyone in your camp right now, son. Get away from them. Get away from them right now. Man, just step up. And I think he's gonna. There's no other way. You're just gonna step up, wear this one for a year, and then go into the 2027 NFL draft. I thought what was one of the crazier things about this entire story was all the talking heads talking about this guy being a first-round draft pick. That was insane to me. I still don't get this.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
I do not understand how we revisionist history this dude's entire career where we're like, oh, he's big and fast and can throw the ball from cool angles, as if that is the bottom line, as if that is what is required to be great at this position. That to me was not laughable, a little bit unfathomable to me. That we were like, oh, this guy, he was a first-round draft pick for me last year. Oh, really? That's interesting. That was crazy to me. And if that were the case, if this guy were actually that talented, I don't think that email would have been that strongly worded for my money. I've always said, in my mind, your talent will directly impact what people are willing to deal with.
For sure.
And I don't think they were willing to deal with this one.
No, of course not.
We had some Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre comps coming out on Brendan Sorsby. I kid you not.
Yeah.
That happened last week. Insane. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could go play some UFL football.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. I think the UFL is connected to the NFL now through some. I don't know if you can still legally play. I'm not sure. But there's if he wants to go to the CFL for 1 year and play for them, and then say, all right, I'm going to increase my draft stock, I'm sure that the CFL would want a name like that. I don't know, but still, it's 1 year. It's one season. Like, this is the equivalent of I tore my ACL. Just take the year off, take your lumps, come back, and we'll see what happens in 27.
I think it's safe to say the more and more they fight, the more and more untouchable he becomes.
Yeah.
I think if we're just quiet for 12 months,
Yes.
maybe we're a 4th round, 5th round draft pick next year, and we're probably in a camp somewhere, and it's a story that the local beat reporters ask you about when you're a Carolina Panther. And outside of that, we don't got to talk about it no more. But if we keep doing this, it's just going to continuously get worse.
There's no world where some evidence is found and people go, oh, well, Brendan Sorsby's right. He should be reinstated. I totally get it. Get his side of things. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like nothing is going to come further in your favor.
Well, there's the layup take of this league doesn't have such a hard line policy against woman beaters and people who did actual bad things. No, the line's kind of, the quote unquote integrity of the game. You guys are talking about integrity of individual people. This is a concern about the integrity of the game in and of itself. And that's why the line was drawn. I thought that was pretty clear from jump. So there's that. Yeah, Favre's past is getting brought up in the chat now. Some more news today. We can stop piling on Sorsby. I think those are layup takes. 5 to play 5, official. You want to know what it is? The 5 to play 5?
What is it?
You want to act ignorant for a second?
Yeah, what is it? I don't know anything about this.
That a boy, what a play. 5 years to play 5 seasons. Pretty simple.
All right.
No red shirts, no extensions. Clock starts at 19 years old or your enrollment, whichever comes first. And there are exemptions for pregnancies, military,
all right,
and mission trips.
All right.
Which leads me to my only take on this. BYU's got the meta.
Sounds like it.
BYU's got the meta. BYU's got 7-year football players moving forward. 2-year missionaries. You just make it. 2-year missionary.
Yeah, but they're not
playing. We'll see you when you're 20.
But they're not playing in those 7 years. They're old, but they're not. It's not like.
But age is king. I mean, that's the only reason Indiana won a national title last year is because they were old, right?
That's not the only reason. It helped them, but
I thought you were playing dumb.
Oh, my bad. Yes, it is. That is the only reason Indiana won.
That's it. It's because they're a bunch of 25-year-olds. That's the only reason Indiana won last year.
Damn Hoosiers.
Yeah. Damn old Hoosiers.
But yeah, no, I think this is good. I think that they're kind of fixing the god-awful COVID year of eligibility that they got to where you kind of did get this avenue to where you can have 6- and 7-year players. So 5 for 5. No red shirts, no nothing. Makes sense to me.
So this starts in the fall of 2027. And the best way to explain this is if you are currently in college, you get to apply whichever rule best fits you. That is literally almost verbatim what it says in the rulings today. So whether you're a 6 to play 4 guy, you're currently in college now. If you play your 5th year and your 6th year of college football, you're good. But if you enroll in 2027, you have 5 to play 5, period, hard stop. So there is a grandfathering in, but the grandfathering is guys in school now get to apply whichever one they want to apply. Do they want to apply 5 to play 5, or do they want to apply 4 or 6 to play 4? It is basically all that really matters there is, have you already taken a red shirt, and do you tear your knee up over the next 18 months?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Those are the only really caveats that sway this rule. I don't know if this is going to increase super seniors in high school or negate that, because every quarterback you cover now is 19 when they graduate.
Yeah.
So I guess
19 or 16.
Huh?
19 or 16.
19
There's
or
no
16.
in between.
We talked about
we don't
this
have any
a couple
more
weeks ago.
18-year-old freshmen.
No. We either have a guy who was supposed to be a junior in high school rushing to NIL money, or we have a quarterback that's 22 years old when he gets out of high school. he bought beer for the senior prom.
Yeah.
So there really was no in between. I think we kind of curved some of this stuff now moving forward. But I do think it's going to provide at least eligibility clarity. Mm-hmm. I think that's important for this sport. Now, is this able to be temporary injunctioned? Do we know that?
I mean, at this point, anything's on the table,
right?
From what we've seen.
If we keep getting TI'd or temporary restraining ordered in local court, does this even matter? I don't know. What there are going to be problems with are guys that didn't play 5 years. They're going to retroactively sue.
Yeah.
That's been stated multiple times. I don't know how they solidify that.
Oh, I'm
Or
not
rectify, I should say. I don't know
I'm not
how-
a law guy, so
Nor am
I
I.
couldn't tell you. But no, I mean,
Nor am I.
there's the eligibility concern and the eligibility, I'll call it a crisis, is going to have repercussions either way, whether or not they stay with the format or adopted this one. There was going to be some people throwing their hands up and saying, well, this was unfair to me. I'm suing now, because the precedent has, by the way, been set that you can sue the NCAA and you'll probably get a successful outcome, or at least one that'll be favorable for the time being. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll get some sort of lawsuit that comes out of this.
Louisville in some financial ruin. Is that a good way to explain what's going on up there?
I don't know if it's ruined, but they're certainly not in a good spot financially.
So they've been in the red 5 of the last 8 years, and are projected to lose $30 million in their athletic budget this year. Next year's projections are somewhere around $7.5 million in lost revenue. I don't know how they project that 2 years out, but that's what they got going on. It reads to me, Kirby, like they were broke before they had to start paying players, and now they're super broke.
Sounds that way.
That's what it read to me. I also read in the article today from Sports Business Insider, or whichever SPO group it is, that they just now started a collective.
It's a little bit
Just
behind
now
the power
starting.
curve.
I think it's called the Cardinal Fund. They're just now doing it.
Trying to get religion involved.
Yeah, trying to crowdsource this thing, which goes in direct conflict of what Nebraska's AD seems to think is able to be done now. There's such varying opinions about how to actually get this done. We got some SEC schools literally buying stock with their collective funds. We've got some Big Ten schools like Michigan becoming billionaires off of stock investments from their collective fund. And then we have teams just now starting a collective in 2026. They all play the same sport, though. They're all competing for the same title. I can't for the life of me figure this stuff out, man. Here's what I will say. I thought Keith Marshall had one of the best articles I've seen on this in recent memory. And he's obviously not known as a writer. He's a former football player that went to business school at Emory. So he's kind of smart.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's kind of brilliant. His premise of his article was essentially that these people in athletic departments have always just been handshakers and nice, people that are just good at relationships, and their salaries have been bloated year after year after year after year. They just keep going up. But there's nobody in these lines of work or lines of business and athletic administration departments that have business backgrounds. Most of them are marketing majors, to be honest with you. They don't have the business intellect to run a company, which is what they're now being tasked to do. Like used to, they were just being tasked with, hey, just break even. Just get it down to zero, which was almost impossible not to be able to do because you had so much revenue and guess what? You had no salary for your actual employees, aka your athletes. And now, I don't think that $30 million is a shocking number considering it was $8.5 million before RevShare came out. Now it's 30. Wonder where that $22 million came from. Paying your athletes. That's what that came from. So I think we have a lot of athletic departments that are not quite set up to actually be for-profit businesses, and nowadays they kind of have to be. And I think that's a big, scary thing for people who have worked in athletics their entire life.
Definitely. I think
specifically collegiate athletics.
Yeah, it's a big, scary thing as well because we talked about it for the future. Like, you're going to have college sports stop being run as entities that are there to purely win games and are purely there to be for the enjoyment of the fan and the enhancement of the university, where it's going to start becoming a business. And business is, at the end of the day, the bottom line is about making money. We see this in the NFL. There are certain teams where the owner is very obviously, they care more about making money and they care more about profit than actually winning games. So it's unfortunate. I think you're going to start seeing that in the college level as well.
I don't think there's any coincidence that the last 2 years we have seen an absolute upheaval or massive amounts of concerts inside stadiums.
Yeah.
And Topgolf coming to the local stadium and like your college venue being turned into a NFL stadium, which is what they get turned into, right? Like Mercedes-Benz hosts concerts all year long. Mm-hmm. They host all kinds of different events. Why? Because they're a for-profit business and they got to make money. That's what we now are in college football. And if you're not ready for this, you're 5 years behind.
Yeah.
And I think the chat brings up a good point. Like Louisville is one of these unique cases because they care about basketball. Mm-hmm. They have to care about basketball. And they're probably spending way more than they have, which is
clearly
obvious. Yeah. You want to talk bounce backs?
Let's talk about some bounce backs.
I want to make sure everybody's hitting that thumbs up button. That's for damn sure. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, firing off in the chat. You guys are doing a good job of that tonight. It looks relatively active over there. Shout out to Ryan for being the 69th like. Who will be 169? That's the question. Who will be 169 tonight? Let's see if it'll be you. Bounce back candidates, Kirby. We got a bunch of teams listed on this. Let's start with Auburn. Now, it's going to sound crazy, but I didn't realize how bad it'd been.
Yeah, this is less of a bounce back candidate as it is a get off the mat candidate.
That's what I got written in my notes. I don't think they bounce back, but they're going to get up off the mat. I don't know if they're going to be standing on their feet, but they ain't going to be flat dead on the mat this year, I don't think. Kirby, did you know that Auburn hasn't won 7 games in a season in 7 years?
Sheesh.
Brian Harsin won 42% of his games. Hugh Freeze won 44% of his games with about 3 times the talent.
It's an improvement.
There's a $30 million roster this year, and they got to play at Bama, LSU, at Ole Miss, at Georgia.
Ooh.
8-4 is the ceiling in year 1 for me. But that's up off the mat.
For sure.
That's climbing back. That's a bounce back right there if you get to 8-4.
Yeah.
Hell, if you win 7 games, best season in 8 years.
That's what I think is kind of the crazy part about it is like Auburn has been kind of revered as one of these programs that is like, yeah, consistently great, but the 2020s have not been very kind to this program. So I think you're right. I think at some point they turn it around. I think at some point they become competitive in the SEC. I think this year they might surprise a lot of people. I don't know if when we say bounce back or get off the mat, they're going to start swinging at people and competing for national or SEC titles within the next 2 years. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if that's going to be the
I think
case.
To me, that was the most shocking number that I heard about a roster this year was Alex Golish telling the world that he's got a $30 million roster. I went through it. I'm like, damn, they must have given Xavier Atkins $8 million.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
It is funny that there's a fine line between like bragging what you spend just because like, oh, we care about winning, but also looking at the talent, you're like, I don't think we paid $30 million.
It's why I dream of transparency in this sport with spending.
Definitely.
I dream of it. And it's something I got a couple of speaking events over the next week or so. And that will be what I petition for most. It's like, will y'all just let me know what y'all are actually paying people so I can, see how you're evaluating. It'll make me either question what I'm doing or question what you're doing, which is good. It's good for all of us. But transparency in general on spending is really important in any walk, but especially in college athletics when the funding is being crowdsourced by fans, which it is right now. So I would like, portions of your revenue at a public university. Those all seem like things where I think I should be getting a little bit of transparency on where these dollars are going. Most notably, the fact that it's coming from fans. I think they should know how much you're paying your backup D tackle, especially if it came from their, allowance or their budget at home, which budgets are tighter than ever before. At least mine is. Let's talk about Florida, Kirby. What do you got here? I think what was amazing to me is finding out today that apart from Spurrier and Urban Meyer, they haven't done much winning on a consistent rate.
Nope.
They have 113 seasons of football at Florida, dating all the way back to 1913, I believe. Any guesses on how many 10-win seasons they've had?
I'm going to say probably like 20.
It's a good guess. 20 10-win seasons over 113 years. It's a pretty good guess. They've had 16. They've had 16 10-win seasons in 113 years as a football program.
Now, I think it should be noted, I think it wasn't until like
Yeah, we didn't start playing 12 games until like mid-'80s.
the 80s.
Yeah, you're right. So let's compound this a little bit more. Of those 16, Kirby, how many of those 10-win seasons do you think Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier account for?
I'm going to go 10, 5 apiece.
12. They account for 3/4 of the 10-win seasons in about, I think, 12 years of coaching between the two of them at that institute. Maybe 14, 15 years. It ain't been all that great despite those two runs. And you probably could do that with a lot of college football programs, right? It is about coaching. It is about nailing the right coach, getting the right coach, and keeping them there. But they ain't had a lot of them in recent memory. But they damn sure ain't going to be 4-8 this year.
No.
They damn sure ain't going to be 4-8 this year.
No,
I think 8-4 is the floor for me. Some people will argue 7-5. I think the floor should be somewhere in that 7 to 8 win range for me.
I'm fine with putting 7-5 as it's the first year. It's our first year coaching in the SEC. We've got a new quarterback. Like there's a lot of new pieces to Florida that's going to take some time to get accustomed to. That said, that roster is far too talented to ever go 8-4-8. They should have gone 4-8 last year. So Florida is absolutely about
this is a no-go at Florida for me. Losing to South Florida, losing to Kentucky, losing to Tennessee at home, that ain't been done since like 2000.
Yeah, that was a 20-year streak.
Yeah, and they beat Mississippi State by 2 at home. They were a bad football team last year with really, really good talent.
Very bad.
They won't be that this year. They're getting up off of it. They're going to be a bounce-back football team. Now, do they bounce back to Florida lore? Not quite yet, but it ain't going to be 4-8 embarrassing. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's move on to Clemson. Man, Dabo's found a little motion lately.
On the recruiting show, yeah.
I mean, in general, I think he's back. I don't know what back looks like or what it's going to be.
Back?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going at. I don't think they're back in the national title contender hunt or discussion or anything like that. But there's no way they're going to be as bad as they were last year, Kirby. They were so poorly coached last year. I remember watching the Duke game back, right? Going back and watching Darian Mensah and Cooper Barkate because they just transferred to Miami, and Miami fans are dying to know what these guys are going to be. So I turn on that Clemson tape. I think he puts up 45 points in the damn game. He throws for like 430 yards. About 220 of it's just straight up busted coverages at Clemson. Okay? Tom Allen, first-year defensive coordinator. There's a 40 or a 70-yard touchdown in the middle of the fourth quarter, Kirby, where they fire the corner from the field, by the way, not the boundary. They fire the corner from the field. Pre-snap, Avion Terrell turns around, looks at the safety, and is like, come on, I'm going. We're calling blitz. Fires the corner. Safety doesn't rotate. Cooper Barkate standing on the sideline like, oh, my God, they left me wide open. I'm the leading receiver in the ACC. 70-yard touchdown.
I remember that. That was kind of the epitome of like Clemson.
It's Clemson football in 2025.
Clemson is down right now.
That's what that was.
I think that was to go like 3-5 at that point. Like they were 3-4. They were a bad football team and it got worse. They turned it around towards the end.
Now, is Chad Morris the hire to turn all things upright? I don't know. I looked it up today because I was on a Clemson podcast. Kirby, did you know he hasn't called a play since 2020?
Uh-oh. Has there ever been an example of this working out where it's like, yeah, this guy hasn't called plays?
Dude's taking a half a decade off. He's going to be great. No, not normally. No.
I can't think of one.
Now, like there's examples of like taking breaks from college football because I was busy in the NFL.
Yeah, that's different.
That's totally different. It's not, it's what you're mentioning is like, no, that normally it does not work. But I do think they bounce back. I think like an 8-4 type of bounce back. Is that bouncing back? They were 7-5 last year.
Yeah, no,
with an elite roster.
I don't consider that really a bounce back. Like if we went 8-4 with it's certainly an improvement because I think we all agree that this year's roster is far inferior to what last year's was. But I don't know if I get to the end of the 2026 season and go, oh, Clemson went 8-4, things are back to where they need to be in Clemson, South Carolina. Like I don't think 9-3. Yeah, that's a good season. Yeah, that's great. That puts you in contention for maybe competing for the ACC. But I think if Clemson wants to have a bounce back here, they need to go like a 10-2, or at least a 9-3. And I don't
see that coming out this year. But yeah, like an 8-4 will be respectable, I think. Especially with what they have in 2027. Chat's asking what they got going on different this year. To be honest with you, I don't really know what is causing the difference in their recruiting success, because since NIL has come out, I don't think, and I'm sure Chat will correct me, I don't think Clemson signed a top 15 class since 2022. And they're about to sign a top 15 class. So what has changed? Maybe the College Sports Commission, maybe slight regulatory measures coming into college football where you actually have to legitimize some of this income for your student athletes. Maybe something along those lines. Maybe they've finally gotten committed to it financially. Maybe he's being more willing to do these types of things. I don't know quite the answer to it, but I'm sure I can get to the bottom of it. I'm sure I can call around and see what the hell's going on. But yeah, there's that. I put a little bit of an intel piece into our Discord today for the Georgia folks, but not something worth talking about nationally right now, or even in the local hour, to be honest with you. I don't think it's worth putting out in public. But yeah, let's go on to Penn State, Kirby. I think they will have a false sense of confidence season.
I was going to say, this is going to be weird to me, because I think that when we get to the end of it on paper, everyone's going to go, man, Matt Campbell sure turned that program around. Because, one, just how terrible it was under James Franklin that final year. Yeah, it's going to be easier to bounce back from that. But the schedule is so conducive to 9-3, to maybe even a 10-2, that you should expect to get to the end of this and be like, boy, Matt Campbell sure turned these Nittany Lions around.
You know what I wrote? If they're 8-4 or worse, panic up there in State College. I want to read this schedule because I would highly doubt most of our listeners have it in their mind. Marshall to open. They go to Temple. Scrappy road game out there in Philadelphia. Buffalo at home. Then it's Wisconsin.
Not good.
At Northwestern.
Not good.
A road game, or a home game, against Southern Cal. That'll be a whiteout.
That'll be a tough game.
They go to Michigan.
Tough game. All right, so we got 2 losses.
All right, and then it's Purdue.
Should win.
At Washington.
Maybe tough.
Minnesota.
Tough.
Rutgers.
That's a win.
At Maryland.
Yeah. Yeah, 8.
No Ohio State. No Oregon.
Yeah, if we go 8-4, that's all right. We lost to USC and Michigan, and then Washington got us, or someone else like that.
And then we lost to Maryland, or we lost to Purdue, or we lost to Rutgers.
We lost to someone we should not have lost
to Wisconsin.
So yeah, I think 8-4. 8-4 is going to be commended. People are going to say, "Wow, he turned this program around." The record is already better. It's his first year here, and they're already 8-4. It's only up from here. 8-4 should cause some panic amongst fans because that schedule is very easy.
Junkyard in the chat says Penn State, you heard it here first, becomes the first playoff team to lose to a G5 program.
Ooh. That's a very low.
I don't think we get automatic bids this year, though. I don't know if we're going to have a G5 team in the playoff this year. They're going to have to earn it, aren't they?
I think it's still top 5 conference champions. So
I thought they got rid of that rule.
I don't even know anymore. They make changes to that thing so many damn times.
Right?
Are we still 12? Or are we going to 20? Like.
And we might be to 16 by August.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wake up on like December 5th and be like, all right, what's the bracket looking like?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool.
LSU.
Gotta be a bounce.
I mean, they were 7-5 last year. There's no way. If he goes 7-5, they might eat all $135 million they promised him or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like they have at least I'm not sure if it's the Lane Kiffin thing's gonna work out long term. I'm not sure if they're going to win a national title within the first 3 seasons. I'm fairly confident with the resources that you've put towards that program and the offensive mind that Lane Kiffin is. They're going to muster up 9 wins at least. So they will definitely have a bounce back. It'll be one of the most closely followed programs in the country this year. LSU will have a bounce back season.
I looked at it today. The parts look really, really good on paper. I mean, they look really good on paper. The problem is when you pull up their R lads, it's like all yellow, which means all those guys are brand new. Now, to a normal human, that would be a little concerning. But this is what Lane Kiffin does. Lane Kiffin's like, oh, you got here 3 months ago? You can be my starting quarterback. That's fine. He is very, very accustomed to churning out brand new rosters. Now, the question becomes, does he continue to do that at LSU? I don't know. I don't know what the plan is moving forward. But man, they're attempting to sign blue chippers in high school, which was something he never even tried at Ole Miss. It was like, oh, we have a top 50 player in the state of Mississippi. We'll attempt to sign that kid. But everybody else, see ya. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're some 3-star wide receiver that I think is special or more special than everybody else, yeah, we might take that guy. But they didn't go after the big boys at Ole Miss because they felt like they couldn't. They are doing so at LSU. But yeah, it will not be 7-5 this year. The roster looks pretty good on paper. The roster looks good enough to reasonably have 10-2 expectations, maybe even demands if you're an LSU fan.
For sure.
So, will not be 7-5. Let's go to South Carolina. Kirby, 5 new offensive linemen. Nitro Tuggle starting at wide receiver. I don't know why. Just that's a fun fact. Nitro Tuggle. Don't know why it's on there. It's not a pro or con. The defense should be really tough. Mm-hmm. I think it's something that's often forgot about South Carolina. They play good defense. They always have, for my money. Don't you think?
Yeah,
I feel like they've always been good. Matter of fact, it's the only coach he's been able to hold on to.
Yeah, see, I don't
in
think
South Carolina.
South Carolina's defense has ever been abhorrent. Like, it's not the cream of the crop, but I don't think that they're a walking 30-point liability every time around. Like, you can get them a lot of times just because of the talent and maybe schemes that you can drop against them. But, no, they're not a bad defense whatsoever.
I'm trying to make sure here. Yeah, he's been there since 2021. Clayton White is the defensive coordinator there at South Carolina. I'll tell you what, if Shane Beamer gets fired, Clayton White's going to be getting a big-time defense coordinator job somewhere. That guy's done really, really good for me. I've never once turned on South Carolina defense and thought, they're the reason they're losing. Have you?
No.
It's always been offensive line play for the last 5 years, it's felt like. And they got 5 brand new ones, including Ja'Carius Peaks. However, their Josiah Thompson, their 5-star future at the tackle position, started as a true freshman last year. He is out for the entirety of the season, so that'll be interesting. I think it's all about how fast Kendall Daniels and Lenora Sellers can get on the same page.
Kendall Briles?
Kendall Briles. Who did I say?
Daniels.
Kendall Daniels?
I don't know who that. I don't think that's a person.
I played with Kendall Daniels in college. That's who that is.
Ah, okay. Here's the weird thing about Shane Beamer. It feels like every time his back's against the wall, he turns in one of these great seasons. Like,
this is 8-4 great. Let's be careful.
Well, good, strong. 8-4 is a great season for South Carolina. We went 8-4 and we beat a top 10, top 15 Clemson team. Yeah, we had a great season, and that's kind of what 2023 was and 2025 or 2024 and 2022 were, where we're coming off of seasons. People are kind of wondering, hey, Shane Beamer might not be the answer. And we pop a bunch of momentum. Right now, the momentum's at an all-time low, I feel like. So maybe Shane Beamer's in store for one of these magical, hey, we went 8-4, we were scrappy out for a bunch of teams, we upset someone. That would be a bounce back for them, and that would be kind of to his credit, Shane Beamer is kind of the bounce back king. He has been that throughout his time at South Carolina. And we all talk about Lenore Sellers as an elite talent. He's not a perfect quarterback prospect whatsoever, but there are pieces there that will give teams problems. So I think South Carolina is someone to watch out for as a bounce-back prospect, but I don't know if they're going to be that exact. I can't confidently say, I predict them to be a bounce-back team this year.
I'm really perplexed about this next group, or next team on our list here, and it's the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Maybe they're a better football team. I don't think their schedule is going to allow it. I don't think their schedule is going to allow some type of major uptick here. Indiana, at Oregon, Washington, at Illinois. By the way, I believe those are 4 straight football games. A bye at Rutgers, Ohio State, at Iowa. That's how they close their season.
Yeah, and
there's might be 5 losses in that mix right there.
Definitely. And I don't know. And obviously it can't be a whole thing because this is different rosters over time. There is something to be said, and there is something that hangs over a program when you have as many losses against ranked teams as Nebraska does. I think that streak is still going. There was a time where they were like 0-13 in one-score games. Stuff like that takes a long time to shake. I don't know if you just kind of magically like, hey, we're all past that now. Maybe. I hope that, because Nebraska, we talked about it, they deserve it more than anyone. That fan base has been passionate through and through some really tough years. But I don't know if Nebraska necessarily has a bounce-back season. Maybe an improvement season. Maybe things are building there. Maybe this Matt Rule thing might work out. I don't know if bounce-back is what I would put him candidate for.
You think they might have some buyer's remorse on that contract extension already?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe not. I mean, if you don't have buyer's remorse now, you probably wouldn't have. If you have buyer's remorse now, you're probably not making that deal. There's been no update that makes you go, yeah, let's keep Matt Rule.
All right, that was our last off the mat team or bounce back team. Do you think Washington bounces back there? I think they were 7-5 last year.
That's an interesting one because you've lost a solid head coach.
Was Fish's second year out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's Fish's second. That's what I'm saying. Like you've got a new head coach. The Demon Williams thing is interesting to me. That dynamic of I'm hitting the transfer portal and no the hell you're not. How is that going to play? I think he's a really talented quarterback. He was one of my more fun watches to have on that last season. But I think there'll be, again, I don't know if it's a bounce back. I think when you say bounce back, you think of what it looked like in 2023, and that is completely gone. Kalen DeBoer and Michael Penix and all of them are not there. So I don't think it's a bounce back.
Let's give him a bone because he's one of the more dedicated college football fans I've ever seen in my life. For Bowden's flip phone, do you think Florida State bounces back this year? You can be quick.
I don't think they go 4-8. I think we might be a 6-6, maybe a 7-5 team. I
have it on good authority from Florida State sources that if he goes 7-5, they will retain him as the football coach.
Ooh, maybe. I think. Here's why. If you're a Florida State fan, because I have friends and family that are Florida State fans.
By the way, Bowden's flip phone got to go on the board for commissioner of the Florida State fan base.
Oh yeah, he is. He is the.
He is our FSU guy.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Florida State will be more fun this year to watch. I think Florida State will be a much more enjoyable outing. I think your Saturdays, they're not going to be great. You're going to have a lot of dark times. But it'll also be like, you know what? It's fine. It's not doom and despair as it was last year. Like last year was, we beat Alabama. Mike Norvell's back. And then 11 weeks of kill me. I don't want to watch this anymore. So I don't think it's going to be
in game, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
in game, of course.
That's your bounce back. That's what I'll say.
That's a good call. All right, let's predict some superlatives. It's a little early for this segment, but I think it's a good spot to do it. I got a bunch of candidates here on every single one of these categories, and you're going to have to help me identify an actual one. Our first superlative, villain of the sport in 2026. I think there are 4 candidates, Kirby.
Ooh, let's see if we have them lined up.
Texas Tech.
Yep.
Texas.
I don't have them, but I agree.
LSU.
Yes.
And Arch Manning.
Ooh.
Here's why. It's to no fault of his own. I don't think he's done anything to deserve this. But he just gets talked about too much.
Agreed.
And it creates a level of rooting for that dude's downfall from everybody who doesn't wear burnt orange. And that's no fault of his own. I like the guy. I like watching him play. I think he plays with a level of just a sack that you've never believed from inside the pocket. I think he's going to be a success on the NFL level. I like Arch Manning, the football player, but I don't think the way he's talked about allows him to be likable from the common fan, and it makes him one of the quote-unquote bigger villains in the sport. But it's Texas Tech, I think.
Yeah, it would have slam dunk been this if Brendan Sorsby was actually playing this season.
Especially if they're winning.
Yeah.
If they're winning and Cody Campbell's running his mouth, they're going to be hated.
Yeah, they're gonna be unlikable for sure. I think Miami's another team to pay attention to in this.
Yeah, they've kind of this whole offseason kind of slipped under this.
Yeah,
man, they did what to a conference member after the portal?
Yeah.
Huh?
And I think also there's that kind of this is good, this is fun when a team comes back to relevancy and comes back to the national spotlight. But that enjoyment doesn't last long. Like people tire out on those fan bases very quickly. I think to Tennessee fans in 22, everyone was happy that Tennessee was back. Like all the Vols are back. By 2023, it was like, all right, we're done with it. We hate these.
Enough
guys.
of you guys.
Enough. Yeah. So I think you might see some of that with Miami this year.
Who did you settle on?
I'm gonna go with Miami because of that reason. I think Texas Tech is probably a solid candidate as well. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Texas Tech. I just don't know what they're going to look like without Brendan Sorsby now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just going to be kind of brushed to the side, like, whatever, you're irrelevant to us, or if it's going to become like, we actually hate you.
I mean, think about this, though. Texas Tech hates Texas. I mean, obviously, but even more than normal. Oklahoma obviously dislikes them. Ole Miss now dislikes Texas because of all the things Sark said this offseason. Who else has got a bone to pick with Texas out there?
Other than Texas A&M? And
Texas A&M. The normal rivals are still there, but I feel like they've done a little bit extra this offseason to spark a fire.
Ole Miss for sure. Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Ole Miss definitely. If you want to say LSU, I don't know. Sark's been running his mouth a good bit. I think people just don't like Sark in general.
People are speaking Spanish in the chat. I drove a cammed LS2 GTO.
So the cam.
No Russian in the chat. No Russian in the chat.
Well, LS2 GTO is the Pontiac car, but the LS2 is the motor that you put in it. LS2 is a popular engine with Corvettes. It's fun stuff, dude. Cars are fun.
Okay. Me no ball. Media darling.
See,
by the way, this is Arch Manning's category as well.
Okay.
But
they kind of go hand in hand.
They just talk about him so much.
I see where you're going.
Because he's such a click, you know? So it's Arch. It's also CJ Carr. I'll put a question by this. Can Gunnar Stockton have a Riley Leonard-like PR run this year where he's so wholesome, he's such just a gritty football player that the world falls in love with him?
I think you kind of saw some of that last year.
I think so,
where
too.
It's like, oh, he's got the truck.
He won this fan base over, I think, Auburn, maybe Tennessee. And it was like, all right, that's our guy.
Yeah,
we're going to freaking war
Tennessee
with this
was
guy.
where you want him over.
So I think if that gets exposed a little bit more, Gunnar might be a national love. You know what I mean? Because who epitomizes college football more right now at the quarterback position than Gunnar Stockton?
No one. I like this one. I like Gunnar Stockton as a media darling. I also like USC as a media darling because they have a very easy path to 4-0, maybe 5-0. If you let USC get to a 5-0 and make them a top 10 team, the media is going to love that. For that matter, I think Florida has also got a chance to do this. If Florida is a solid team this year and things are going well under John Summerall, they will be talked about a good bit.
To be quite frank, Kirby, Florida's been the sleeper pick for 6 years now.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
People
what I mean?
want it to happen.
They've been wanting
People
that to
want
happen
Florida
so
to be so good for so long. If it actually happens, it's back.
I think they were a playoff pick 2 years in a row by major national outlets.
Yes.
Only
they
to
were.
go 6-6 and 4-8. So yeah, they seem to be one of these. Those are teams though. Do you have a player that you think might be a media darling?
Honestly, you've convinced me on a Gunnar Stockton type guy.
It's a good take.
I think
he's going to win it.
I think you're also going to get a pure hey, he's one of the GOATs and we got to enjoy it while he's here. Campaign from Jeremiah Smith. I think Jeremiah Smith is already talked about as the greatest college football prospect at the receiver position of all time. And I think this year will kind of be sort of a farewell tour for the media of man, it's a shame we're only going to get to watch him for X more games.
We have 10 months, not even that. We have about 8 months, Kirby, to come up with a new transcendent talent type of take for Jeremiah Smith. And we need to covet that area. That needs to be ours.
All right.
We need to figure that out.
We'll get on
All
it.
right, so that's our goal. Chat, help us out. A new name. I'm thinking something along the lines of extraterrestrial, avatar-like, something not of this earth. That's what I'm thinking for Jeremiah Smith and his NFL transcendency, if you will. Team of Destiny. I've only got one. Kirby, do you think Oregon fans can wrap their mind around, if not now, then when? When will it ever be? And here's why I think the Team of Destiny thing can kind of roll into this. I do believe that champions have to walk through some hard times in this sport.
Definitely.
I think Ohio State had absolute gut-wrenching losses before their national title. Indiana had all of 2024 where people told them they were schedule frauds and then doubled down on that when they got housed by Notre Dame on the road. And then they go through all that they go through in 2025 on their way to a national title. Oregon's had these lumps. This roster as a whole has gone through these crushing losses, and maybe they can wrap their heads around this is the one. This is the time to go.
I like that. I think it's possible. I will also say I think that if not now, then when has kind of been the mantra for Oregon fans for the better part of like 15 years, unfortunately. So,
damn, was Chip that long ago?
2010.
Yeah. Those teams were so fun to watch.
They were so much fun to watch.
They were fun to watch.
They were fun to watch. And it's also like if these guys aren't going to do it, then when? So,
Who did they play in like 2015? They had a home game. It was a top 5 matchup, and they housed them. It was Marcus Mariota.
It wasn't Michigan State, was it?
Maybe. Yeah, it was 2 ugly greens on the field. That's what it was.
I feel like it was Michigan State.
And they just ransacked them. That was D'Anthony Thomas for like 260.
Yeah, those were fun teams. Those are also like prime teams to play with in NCAA games. Everyone was just so fast. But yeah.
Who's your team of destiny?
I'm going to go with 2 teams. It's either Notre Dame because of, we were wrongfully left out of the college football playoff last year and we came back guns a-blazing, or you could do Texas to where we were wrongfully left out of the college football playoff and now we've gotten everyone to saddle up and the horses are coming for the 2026 season. So
freaking sore, Kirby. BMF. I like this.
See, this
speaks for itself. It's the baddest MFer in college football. Who is it?
There's only one candidate I have for this. So you go ahead and give me yours.
No, I want yours. He's probably on mine.
It's Ahmad Hardy.
Huh.
If Ahmad Hardy has anything over 500 rushing yards, he deserves that category 1,000%. And I don't care if there's anyone who's like, oh, he's a really scrappy quarterback or he takes a lot of hits. This man got shot and will probably play at some point in the 2026 college football season. He gets the bad MFer award.
Do you come out to Young Dolph's 100 shots, or do you come out to Many Men by 50 Cent?
I would say Many Men by 50 Cent has aged better than Young Dolph's 100 shots.
It's true. It's good. It's a good call.
Yeah,
really good call.
There's a bit of an irony to a young
Paper Ralph Frank.
There's a bit of an irony to Young Dolph's 100 shots now.
Didn't quite get 100, but it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I got a bunch here. I do think that most of the time, for me, the baddest MFer in college football, for some reason, I envision a defensive tackle. Is that fair?
That's fair.
I envision an unblockable, game-wrecking, holy cow, that dude's a bad MFer, defensive tackle. So I have 3 candidates for the defensive tackle bad MFer. You ready?
Let's hear it.
1, Will Eccles, Ole Miss. 2, David Stone, Oklahoma. 3, Justin Scott, Miami. By the way, I think all 3 of those football players have a chance to be first-round draft picks this year. Jeremiah Smith, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, Jeremiah Smith is going to be so much more physically dominant than anybody that lines up across from him, unless he goes up against Christian Fuller for some reason. That's not his name. Who's number 15? Leonard Moore. Why do I always want to call him Christian Fuller? Leonard Moore from Notre Dame is about the only guy that can even line up across from him and feel like we're good. Oh, maybe Devin Sanchez, his own corner out there at Ohio State. I bet Ellis Robinson would feel relatively confident. But outside of that, everybody else is going to be wetting down their leg. I'll stick with Ohio State. Have you seen Kenyatta Jackson?
Not recently.
You should lay eyes on Kenyatta Jackson. We got a number change this year, too. I think we're rocking a single digit at 6'6", 285 pounds. He's a guy. Now, I think this guy should win it, though, because this dude game wrecks. This dude blows stuff up. This dude is aggressive. This dude is the leader of his unit entirely. It's Colin Simmons out there at Texas. That's a bad MFer.
I feel like Colin Simmons is one of these guys now where it's like, he's still here?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we were 10 sacks as a freshman.
Yeah.
I think 12. I mean, we were freshman All-American, and we're about to go year 3 of double-digit sacks in the SEC. That's pretty damn good. I've got one candidate for the weekly soap opera, Kirby.
Who you got?
It's Texas.
Texas is one.
And here's why. Let me lay it out. Texas, let's say they lose 1-score game at home against Ohio State week 2. Week 5, they play Oklahoma. a very losable game because it's a rivalry matchup. Now, they've kind of owned Venables, but hey, who knows? Maybe Venables gets them. Now they're 3-2 through 5 weeks, and they've got to win out. Okay, and do you know what's remaining on the schedule?
Oh, it's a lot of difficult.
Florida, Ole Miss, at LSU, at A&M, and they're gonna have to go undefeated essentially.
Yeah.
Now you can try to make a 9-3 case. I wouldn't want to. Not after last year. I would not want to make a 9-3 case,
Especially after
if
what
I
we
was
spent.
Texas. Huh?
Especially after what we spent.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think if that lays out like that, it's very plausible they could lose to Ohio State at home. It's also less plausible that they lose to Oklahoma. If that is the case, they are the talking point the rest of the season from week 6 on. All right? And that would be daunting, I would imagine. By the way, I think they get their bye before Oklahoma, and then it's bye-less the rest of the way. So enjoy that.
Yeah, I went with LSU because LSU has a big marquee matchup in week 1 against Clemson. And then from then on, they're going to be one of the most covered teams. And there's going to be drama happening. Lane Kiffin rolling into Oxford this year is going to have a wild story that happens with it. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope everyone comes out of that stadium all right. Something crazy is going to happen there. And from then on, it's just going to be story after story after story. And by the way, Lane Kiffin is a layup for these. Just follow him on Twitter. You will find something to talk about.
Yeah, even if there's no reason to talk about the LSU Tigers, Lane will give us one. Let's head to the local hour. We got a whole another hour coming up on the other side, and it's filled with Bulldog nostalgia.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network. We finna talk that dog over the next hour here on the Film Guy Network. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're firing off in the chat. Make sure you're telling a friend about this place. I challenge you right now, if you're one of the several hundred people watching us, go recruit a friend. Text them right now. Say, hey, give these guys a chance, especially if they're a dog fan, over the next hour. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's get after it. Now, Kirby, please explain this segment to those who are not named Brooks Austin, because I haven't been here during one of these, but apparently the audience is very familiar with what's going on. So basically explain it to me, if you will.
Yeah, so when you weren't here, me and Jay did a couple of brackets ranking moments or games or players that we loved and just kind of going down, doing like a March Madness thing. I think this was first inspired by March Madness. So today's bracket, we're doing a 24-team bracket of our favorite UGA plays under the Kirby Smart era. So essentially what we have is a 24-team bracket seeded accordingly with some of our best plays, biggest memories, and we're going to go through and rank them against each other and see which one comes out on top.
Seems simple enough. I do have to forewarn you. My lack of dog ball knowledge is about to get massively exposed.
Well, don't worry, because these are all Kirby Smarts, and the majority of them are ones that you would have covered or have seen.
But I know, having seen the list, there are a couple of plays on this where my football brain hasn't picked them up.
Okay.
I don't. One specifically I asked you about pre-show. Still can't see it in my head.
Okay.
And I can see all kinds of football plays. I've lost some of these. Let's go to the board. By the way, this whiteboard purchase, I think one of the more high-quality purchases we've had on this network.
It certainly pays off for these type of segments.
I mean, we have gone to this whiteboard so much, and you would think like, hey, dude's a film guy. Dude's an X's and O's guy. He's got to have a whiteboard in his office somewhere. I do now. Where do I need to go with this? We need to zoom out just a tad bit?
You're good where I can get it.
All right. So, do you want to lay out the bracket, or do you just want to go straight to the top and get after it?
I can tell you the seeds for it.
Okay. Go ahead and tell the folks the seeds.
All right, so the seeds we have for these.
By the way, this is Kirby's handwriting, so next time he gives me crap, just remember.
It's small. And what do you mean? That handwriting is very legible.
Okay. It's not your best work.
It's completely legible.
It's much better than the effort I tried to put up. I ain't gonna
Anyways.
lie. Go ahead.
All right, so on the left side of the bracket, we have the Chip 6 for the 1 seed. 2 seed is the DeAndre Swift SEC Championship run. 4th and 6th versus Tennessee comes in at 3. The A.D. Mitchell Bama touchdown in the National Championship comes at 4. Number 5 is Brock Bowers' touchdown against Auburn. 6 is Nate Frazier's overtime touchdown against Georgia Tech. 7 is Isaiah McKenzie's go-ahead touchdown against Missouri. 8, Chris Smith's field goal return for a touchdown in the SEC Championship. 9, Lawrence Cager's Florida touchdown. 10, Texas onside kick. 11, the Jordan Davis rushing touchdown. And number 12 to round out is the Malachi Starks Oregon pick. On the other side of the bracket.
No, go ahead. We'll talk about it when it comes up. Go ahead.
Okay. On the other side of the bracket, we have the Sony Rose Bowl walk-off touchdown at 1. The missed kick at midnight in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 2. Number 3 is A.D. Mitchell's go-ahead touchdown against Ohio State. 4 is Chris Smith's Clemson pick 6. Number 5 is Auburn's Maurice Smith's Auburn pick 6. Number 6 is the Texas overtime touchdown in the SEC Championship. Number 7 is Gunner's kneel against Florida. 8 is the blocked punt against Alabama. 9, Brock Bowers' tip touchdown against Florida. 10, Nick Chubb's UNC touchdown run to seal the game. Number 11 is Ladd's FSU scramble for a touchdown. And to round out this side, we have Kenny to AD in the Orange Bowl touchdown.
That's against Michigan?
Correct.
Okay. Can I make an alteration here?
Sure, what's up?
Do we think James Cook's touchdown was a bigger play than Kenny McIntosh's pass to A.D. Mitchell?
In the Orange Bowl?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because by that point, like, things were just rolling. Like, the James Cook one was just like, it's just getting better.
Oh, that was cherry on top?
The Kenny to AD one was, I believe, the second touchdown of the game where it was like, wait a minute, Georgia might, like, win this game handedly. Because I think the first touchdown was the Brock Bowers one where they line him up in line, leak him out the side, and you have Ladd McConkey blocking. So, but yeah.
Okay. All right, let's start up here. 8 versus 9. We have the Chris Smith field goal block touchdown versus the Lawrence Cager touchdown against Florida. I mean, to me, it's Chris Smith's play by a mile. It's far more of an impressive football play.
Yeah.
Like, the Lawrence Cager is an impressive play call. We talked about this when you brought the rewatch series about this football game. The timing of that play call from James Coley was spectacular. The execution of it was really, really good. However, this play and the way it is an epitome of Georgia football as well, in the sense that Chris knew that because they talked about it in a meeting that week. You know, it was like they showed, I think Chris said after the game, they had shown a bunch of clips that week of blocked field goal attempts and the kicking team basically taking the play off once the ball hit the ground. But the ball is not blown dead. The play is not blown dead until the referee realizes that nobody is attempting to return it. Mm-hmm. So in that play, Chris walks over and you can see him. He's like looking around. Is anybody around me? Because that's something they also talked about. If anyone is near the football, you are not to touch it. We are to take the blocked field goal and move on. However, if everybody's walking off the field, pick that thing up and go score. And that's exactly what Chris Smith did. And I think it sealed that game for them. Now, they weren't going to lose to LSU in that SEC championship game. I don't think. No. That was 2022? 22 when it was Jaden Daniels' first year there. They weren't the best.
He was injured too.
Yeah, they had limped to that SEC championship game. I think Georgia wins it anyways, but the Chris Smith play is one of the more impressive individual football plays that they've made since I've been covering.
Agreed, and the uniqueness of it is what stands out to me because, like you said, it's not something that you see every day. It's a smart football play more than anything. So, yeah, I agree. Chris Smith gets the nod there.
All right, let's move on down to 5 versus 12. That says Bowers AV. What does that mean?
That's Auburn.
Oh, that's Bowers Auburn. So this is the touchdown?
Correct.
In the fourth quarter, he runs through 5 arm tackles and outruns everybody, and game over. We win.
This is the go-ahead touchdown to ultimately give them the lead against Auburn in a 27-20 victory.
Versus the Malachi Starks Oregon interception. Now, if that Malachi Starks Oregon interception was in a one-score football game, Bubba, this one clears.
Yeah.
But they ransacked Oregon that day.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat a steel drum.
I think from an athletic standpoint and from just the Malachi Starks play is a bit more impressive. I think the moment of the Brock Bowers Auburn touchdown and what it all cemented and kind of the cherry on top of him just going through that Auburn defense the entire fourth quarter, I would lean Brock Bowers here.
What's the most impressive play Brock Bowers made? Because one comes to mind for me.
The most impressive play Brock Bowers made, in my opinion, was the 21 SEC championship game when he takes a screen and runs through 3 Alabama defenders on his way to a touchdown.
For me, it's the 75-yard touchdown against Georgia Tech.
That too.
His freshman year.
When he just defies angles and slants.
What is that?
21 Brock Bowers was fun to watch because people hadn't figured out it was Brock Bowers, so it was more just like, oh, he's just a normal tight end. And they're like, oh, God, what is this?
Even Monken said after that Georgia Tech play, he was like, what on earth do we have? And then you see what he used. It was used like in 22 and 2023. All right, who do we give the nod to? It's got to be the Bowers-Auburn touchdown. I think you're right in the sense that it kind of unlocked the superhero-ness that is Brock Bowers, even to this day. All right, Nate's overtime touchdown. That's got to be against Georgia Tech.
This is Georgia Tech. This is 8 overtimes. This is where they finally go, you know what, screw it. Let's just run dive up the middle and see if Nate Frazier can send us home. And you do. Do you not remember this at all?
Dude, that 8 overtime game was such a wash for me.
There's a lot happened in that.
I was flip-flopping fields over and over again. The play that sticks out most in that game is the Dan Jackson fumble, which I don't know is on the list.
It's not on here now.
Yeah, that would be my other alteration to this. I would put the Dan Jackson play far more pivotal. Like, didn't C.J. Allen have a great breakup in that game as well?
C.J. Allen, C.J. Allen stops Georgia Tech on there was a penalty beforehand, so Georgia Tech had the ball on the 1, so it was like, well, here it goes. Georgia Tech's going to win off of a penalty. C.J. Allen stops a QB power on Haynes King that ultimately forces another overtime. I feel like Nate's overtime touchdown was kind of the final culmination of all his emotions and finally just the release of, we won. So that's why I put it there. But you're right. Without the Dan Jackson play, without 5 or 6 plays after that, Georgia doesn't win that game. But I put Nate's touchdown on there because it was kind of the first moment of Nate having his big moment as well as you winning the game.
Now, the Jordan Davis touchdown was pretty damn cool.
This is against Charleston Southern in 2021 where they line up in the heavy formation. Yeah. He's out of fullback. It loses a little bit of its legend, though, because it took 2 tries.
Yeah.
I think people forget that he was stonewalled on the first one. They were like, you know what, just run it again. He ultimately gets in. It's always fun when a big man gets a touchdown. But
it's like the second best big man touchdown. The best big man touchdown is Jalen Carter's play-action pass.
Jalen Carter's play-action in 2020 was better.
This is because, very selfishly, one of my best predictions of live tweeting I've ever had. I don't know if you were with us at the time, but I tweeted prior to them scoring and doing that play-action pass, hey, next time they get down here, watch out for a play-action pass to Jalen Carter. And that's exactly what happened. He ends up scoring. And people were like, the sorcery. What is this? I thought it was pretty obvious that it was ultimately going to happen because when we got a big guy back there, everybody assumes he's going to run the football. Right. What do you think here?
I like Nate. I think the Jordan Davis touchdown's fun, but at the same point, the Nate touchdown I feel like has more emotional significance to it.
All right, the Isaiah McKenzie touchdown versus Missouri. This is Jacob Eason, seam down the middle, isn't it? In the red zone.
4th and 7, I believe.
Yeah, about a 20-yard touchdown reception, or the Texas onside kick. Fun fact, did you know that there's a 41% recovery rate on surprise onside kicks in college football?
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
You think so?
How often are we running surprise onside kicks?
Well, not that often. But I think there's another stat compounded upon that where basically if you get an onside kick, you win 80% of your games in college football.
Now that doesn't surprise me because it's
still in a possession.
It's essentially a turnover.
Yeah, it is.
Winning the onside kick is a turnover. Not only that, it takes the wind out of your sails from your defense has to go right back on the field. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Now, correct me or remind me, what did y'all do after you beat Missouri on the road in 2016?
Oh, you got destroyed by Ole Miss on the road.
So it's kind of you know what I mean? It was a great play.
For sure.
But it was kind of one in a meaningless season in the only meaningless season that Kirby Smart's ever had at Georgia.
It also hasn't really aged well because that was kind of the Jacob Eason arrival party where, the freshman's here. So you're going Texas here?
I am. I think it's such a great coaching decision, and I think it ultimately steamrolled that football game because if my memory serves, Anthony Hill's interceptions like right around that time in that football game where that's the only reason Texas really scored is because Anthony Hill stole possession, put him in a short field. Arch turns around and gets it in the box. I think with an RPO to Ryan Wingo down there.
Correct.
And then you guys come back, score, onside kick, double them up. Now it's over.
Pretty much, yeah. That's essentially how it
such a big moment in that football game. All right, let's go on to the other side of the bracket. We got Bama's blocked punt. That's an SEC championship game this year, right?
Correct.
Cole Spear. All right, and then Bowers' UF tip. I'm going Bowers' UF tip because of the excellent meme that it brought us. The Carson Beck.
Oh, the Carson Beck and the Brock Vandagriff
Yeah,
jumping up and down on the
Vandagriff's
sidelines. Yeah, it's certainly
and what a play.
It's the epitome of just like, hey, this is why Brock Bowers was so great. The ability to catch that ball, haul it in. I don't know. There is something about the Bama blocked punt, though. And if things continue the way Georgia fans hope they are, you can kind of point to that play as being the turning point in not just that game, but the series alone. Like, think about that. Prior to that, Georgia could not shake the Alabama ghost. It was always a monkey on their back. You block that punt, you get a touchdown in that, you ultimately steamroll in the SEC championship game. It obviously we'll have to see, but I think history will look more kindly on the Alabama block punt as kind of the moment where things shifted if Georgia continues to have success in this matchup. So I think maybe Bowers will probably get the nod because of how impressive an individual play it is. But in 3 or 4 years, I think that Bama block punt is going to hold more significance.
Was that the year Anthony Richardson almost gave you a sweat in the second half because Malachi Starks tried to pick a ball off and missed it?
Yes, but you're mixing up Malachi Starks trying to pick a ball off against LSU. Anthony Richardson.
I thought he did it against Florida too.
No, but they brought it within one score,
Yeah.
and Georgia ultimately just ran away with it. I think the final score of that game was 42-20, and I think at one point it was like 30-20 or something like that. So I don't remember, but yeah, no, I would go Bowers tip here.
All right, let's go Bowers tip. Is chat liking this?
Yeah, chat loves this.
Are they helping out?
They are.
All right. Any disagreements so far from chat? They're like, these guys are crazy.
Have not seen any
All
up to
right,
this
that's good.
point.
Let's move on to Mo Smith's interception versus Auburn versus Kenny's touchdown pass to A.D. Mitchell. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't remember the Mo Smith interception.
So
I wasn't covering yet.
Yeah, I would say the Mo Smith interception, I'll give you some context for it. Georgia has not had a great season up to this point. They're kind of middling. They've lost to Ole Miss. They've lost to Vanderbilt. Number 9 ranked Auburn is coming in. Big game, big moment. Georgia has held Auburn to no points. The third quarter comes. The only touchdown of the game is Maurice Smith's interception. He picks off a overthrown hitch route, I believe. Returns it back 30 yards, brings it into the close end zone. Georgia ultimately wins that game 13-7, I believe. Yeah, it was a gross game, but it was a top 10 win. It was Auburn's arrival. It was a big moment. It was kind of the first key signature win for Kirby Smart of that era, so that has significance. Obviously, the Kenny to A.D. Mitchell play has its own lore behind it. It's kind of the first trick play we saw in a playoff. It's another one of those, like, the bravado of coaching moments where, we're calling onside kicks against top 10 matchups where we're running reverse passes in a college football playoff game where we have a one-score lead. Like, once again, just kind of the signal of Kirby Smart knows when to call the right play.
The James Cook touchdown, and there's one other play that comes to mind when I think of that Orange Bowl against Michigan. Any guesses?
There's a bunch of plays that come to mind for that.
Trayvon Walker running through the face of the center.
Trayvon Walker running through the face of the center. Nakobe Dean calling the orbit motion that ultimately hawking it down. Chaz Chambliss catching an absolute body and getting a targeting penalty, which is kind of BS. There's a lot of Darian Kendrick's 2 interceptions. Like, it was a fun, like, for as much of not a good game as that was, it was a fun game to watch, a fun game to return to as well.
All right, I'm gonna give Mo Smith the nod.
That's fair.
If you're the reason for a first key signature win, you get put on the list. And, first bring over, transfer, that type of deal.
He is the first success story.
Yeah, he definitely was. Texas overtime touchdown, or is that turnover? The touchdown?
Touchdown.
So that would be Carson Beck coming back in.
Correct.
With a torn UCL. Gunnar Stockton just got murdered.
Yes.
Lawson Lucky had to carry him to the sideline.
Yeah.
We get our quarterback with no arm in there. Who runs that in?
Trevor A-Chain.
Trevor A-Chain runs that in for a touchdown. Big play. Big moment there. But, man, that FSU scramble from Ladd was so funny to watch.
That being like
that was so funny to watch.
That being the final play of Ladd, like it might not have been. I don't know if they pulled him immediately after that, but that kind of being the final moment of Ladd McConkey's career is so perfect. Of just like, this is how creative he was. This is how fun he was to watch, because he's not a physically imposing person. You don't see him and go, oh, that's one of the scarier route runners in the SEC. But that right there was the epitome of that. In running around and running across the field to score a touchdown against a Florida State team that was just disheveled coming into that game.
They had no chance.
It was sad. It was sad for everyone else, but if you're a Georgia fan, you're just kind of like, look at that.
It was sad for me to have to travel down to Miami to watch 66-3 or whatever it was.
63-3 was the final, I believe.
66-7 was the national title.
65-7.
I didn't mind going to that one. You know,
that's fun.
It's a national title.
I don't know what to pick here, though, because they're equally exciting moments for different reasons. The idea that Carson Beck came in his last play is him being injured and handing the ball off to a transfer is kind of poetic. To beat Texas again in overtime. The Ladd FSU scramble was a lot of fun, though. I don't know.
I'm down to have an 11-6 upset.
I was going to say, I think this would be the first.
So down.
This would be the first
The
upset.
Ladd play was so funny, too. You know?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on down. Gunner's Florida kneel versus Chubb's UNC touchdown. All right, tell me about Chubb's UNC touchdown.
So this is the culmination of Nick Chubb. This is the first game of the season. Nick Chubb is coming off of that devastating knee injury in 2015. He's got, at this point, like 160-some-odd yards in this game. Georgia gets the ball back. They are up 26-24. There's like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They got an opportunity to ice the clock. Nick Chubb takes the ball, carries it 60 yards for a touchdown. It's kind of like the Nick Chubb is back moment. He had over 200 yards in that game. It was a big moment. It's the first win of Kirby Smart's tenure. It's the Nick Chubb as return game. Obviously, 2016 didn't turn out how you want it to for either of those guys, but a very big moment in Georgia football. And then obviously the Gunner Stockton kneel. There is nothing more satisfying than kneeling right at the goal line of an opponent.
You know, I was just thinking, Nick Chubb needs the ball himself nowadays. Like mature Nick Chubb, adult Nick Chubb, not freshman or sophomore Nick Chubb. Because you just laid out a situation where they had won the game, right? If he takes a knee, they ice the clock 26-24 against North Carolina, right?
Yes.
But he runs in the end zone and they give him an extra possession with like 2.5 minutes left?
Correct.
Yeah, no, he's taking a knee now. He's done it. He's done it in the league.
He has. He runs out of bounds.
Yeah, he would do the same thing now. He wouldn't even score. It'd be the same. It would be knee versus knee right here in this situation.
That's a great point. It would be much less satisfying if Nick Chubb were to kneel that out, though. Like, dude, you had it right there. Like, come on. But no, the Gunner Stockton kneel is probably one of the most satisfying plays there. I might go Chubb upset here, though.
I'm down to go whatever you want here. But I will say the Gunner Stockton kneel down opened up way too much of exposing people who didn't watch the game. Oh, they only beat Florida by 3. Florida sucks this year. You know? I saw a lot of those takes.
Well, in fairness.
It's like, in reality, Georgia beat them by 10.
Would have been 11. It was 24-20.
Whatever
In fairness, though, you shouldn't be down against an unranked team with minutes left in the fourth quarter. So that reaction was warranted to a degree.
I feel like Chubb's got to get a dub at some point on this list.
I agree.
That's the only one for him there. All right, back up here. We got Chris Smith versus the Chip 6. That's clear.
Yeah,
Chip 6.
That's a tough one. You're gonna have a
yeah. This is a proper 1 seed right here. The Keely Ringo interception returning back for a touchdown. So many epic moments in that play too. Dan Jackson getting his shit rocked just for the hell of it.
Dan Jackson, the Kirby jump.
Yeah.
Like just go watch any crowd reaction you want to that.
Yeah.
Like there are 5 and 10 minute compilations on YouTube of just people having their own reactions to that play, whether they're in their house, the stadium.
I think Roddy and UGA Sports put that together.
Yeah, I mean it's great work. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll come back to that and be like, man, what a time. So yeah, Chip 6 is going to make a deep run at this. I fear for the other plays on this list.
All right, we have the A.D. Mitchell Alabama touchdown. Now this is the Natty touchdown.
Correct.
Okay. versus Bowers Auburn play.
Looks like
Okay.
looks like Boovers.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like Boover.
Hey, that's better.
Bowers Auburn.
So this is an interesting one. The Brock Bowers Auburn play is a fantastic. We've already talked about this. A.D. Mitchell's touchdown was kind of the reigniting of hope because I think people forget, like, up until that point, there was always a moment in the Georgia-Alabama game where things went wrong, where it's like, well, here's where it all goes downhill. Oh, the fake punt didn't work, or, oh, this backup quarterback's coming in, or something like that, where this is where Georgia loses the game. That moment happened. The Stetson Bennett fumble that ultimately led to Alabama scoring the touchdown. They went up 13-12, I believe. That moment was there. It was kind of like, well, we're in the fourth quarter. This is how Alabama wins the game. That touchdown reignited the Georgia fan base. It reignited the Georgia sideline. And I think you don't win that game. You can still have the Brock Bowers touchdown and the chip six. I don't think you have the momentum for those plays to happen without the A.D. Mitchell touchdown.
I think you're 100% right. It's the A.D. Bama touchdown right here. Sorry, Brock.
Great play, Brock. You've got other chances to
By
win.
the way, no Brock Bowers hovering for a first down conversion on the list here.
It's a great
snub.
It's a great play.
It's a great moment.
It's a great moment. It's not like a play where you come back to and like, oh my God. Like it's
But they lose the game if he doesn't
correct.
do that.
I put it in kind of the similar categories of Josh McCray's 4th and 2 run this year against Ole Miss. You don't win the game without it. It's an incredible singular effort, but watching it's like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. It's a great play for what it was, but if it happened on a normal, like just a normal play, you wouldn't be watching it.
Facts. All right, so Nate's overtime touchdown against Georgia Tech, Tennessee 4th and 6, big dub.
Yeah, I mean this is the arrival of Gunnar Stockton. Like for everything where it was like, what is Gunnar Stockton going to be for Georgia? What is this offense going to look like for Georgia? How are they going to be able to do things? Not only that play, but that performance in general was the arrival of him and the arrival of, hey, this guy's going to do anything for his team, and he's going to be clutch as hell while doing it. 4th and 6 in Neyland Stadium when your rival thinks they're about to break an 8-year losing streak against you, very satisfying.
I think it was also forgotten about that moment, right? 4th and 6, huge play. But they lose the game if they don't get the 2-point conversion.
Correct. Yeah.
If they don't get the 2-point conversion right after that, it's a switch release to Zachariah Branch.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't get that, then Tennessee gets the ball back and runs the clock out.
Correct.
And that's the end of it.
Correct.
So
I mean, not only that,
two back-to-back ballsy plays.
Well, I mean, 3 where it's like if Tennessee doesn't miss a field goal, you don't win that game either.
Wide right.
Like there was like in a 5-minute span of or 3-minute span of gameplay, there were 3 moments that had to happen, and if they don't go Georgia's way on all 3, you lose that game. So, kind of a miracle win in Neyland.
All right, this Swift SEC touchdown, you're gonna have to.
Oh, this is the DeAndre
down.
Swift takes the outside carry left down the sideline to ice the game. Georgia goes up 28.
Oh, this is the Auburn 2017 SEC
Correct.
game.
Correct.
Yeah. Is that the longest rush in Kirby Smart era history?
I don't know. I mean, at that point, I'm sure it was. I don't know if it still holds up.
Did it go 75?
It went like 60 something. I
Okay,
think
so
Georgia.
It's Zamir White's 75-yard touchdown against Florida. It's probably the longest rush.
Probably, yeah. But no, I mean,
Man,
still.
When are we going to have that again? I want to see a 70-yard run.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see one.
you had them.
When?
Nate Frazier broke off like 2 of them against Mississippi State.
I don't think those were 70-plus.
I don't think they were 70 plus, but they were
I think those were
plus.
like 60-yard rushes, 57-yard rushes.
I mean, at the same point,
You're right.
Like, oh,
They're explosive.
he did it in the 3rd play of the drive instead of the first.
Yeah.
Ah, come on, Nate, do better.
You're right.
Like,
You're right.
it happens.
It happens. All right, let's go Swift SEC touchdown.
Yeah, I think that the Texas onside is a ballsy move, but at the same point, the DeAndre Swift touchdown secured your first SEC title in 15 years at that point, or 12 years at that point.
Since 2004.
2005, so yeah, 12 years.
2005, yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
All right, let's go to the other side of the bracket now.
I believe so.
All right, let's do it. Bowers tipped touchdown pass against Florida versus the Sony Rose Bowl walk-off.
I think we know what wins there.
Yeah.
One of the first iconic moments of the Kirby Smart era where it's like, this team has arrived. This is a national championship contending team.
Shout out Dean Legge and the Dog Post folks because we get that epic gif of him taking his hat off and going, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just everything, and the emotional roller coaster that was that football game. I know you weren't covering it. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I just proposed to my wife.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is one of the greatest college football games of all time. For a team erases a almost 3-score lead.
The Rodrigo pre-halftime field goal.
Dude, so monumental.
And don't you onside kick coming out of the second half?
They onside kick.
They onside kick and they hit the middleman, right?
They onside kick. Tay Crowder fields it, which is why Georgia has the opportunity to kick
That's
that field
right.
goal.
What a dumb decision.
It was ultimately panned by Lincoln Riley, and there's a lot of things that were done at the end of that game that people kind of question, like, why did you do this? So, yeah, Lincoln Riley hasn't been the best at in-game coaching decisions.
That was an interesting game where you guys rushed for like 300 yards. They couldn't stop you from running the ball, and you couldn't stop them from throwing it.
Correct.
It was an interesting game.
Very interesting game.
All right, Mo Smith's interception versus Auburn versus Chris Smith's pick six versus Clemson.
Ooh.
No, you do not win a national title. You don't win your first title in 40 years if Chris Smith doesn't pick six Clemson.
You could also argue that the Kirby Smart era is not what it is without Mo Smith picking off that ball. It's an interesting debate.
I don't think Kirby's an undeniable. I think Kirby would have gotten to this point no matter.
Yeah, but the counterpoint is you don't think that 21 roster was undeniable even if they lose to Clemson?
Well, it's
Or
part
even if they
of
don't
his creation.
even if they don't have that pick against Clemson? I think the Chris Smith plays.
Well, you're right. They might go into overtime 3-3 and win it anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
It was the only touchdown of the game.
I think the Chris Smith play gets the nod there. I don't think it's as just obvious, like blatant, it's Chris Smith. I think that there's real reasons why that Mo Smith pick holds significance. I agree that Chris Smith does get the nod there.
Here's how we'll solidify the nod. Was the Mo Smith interception due to a bad throw?
Yes.
All right. Chris Smith's interception was solely due to the fact that he
Correct.
did that.
It's a better individual
He
play,
read that
no
play.
doubt.
He did the film study. He took the key step pre-snap. He drove down on the inside slant. He picked it off and outran everybody and went back to the house. Also, went back to the house. Didn't get tackled inside the 5. Or whatever happened to Mo Smith.
Mo Smith returned it for 6.
My bad.
They're very similar plays. It's the only Georgia touchdown in both of their outings. It's a win against a top 10 team. It's a defining moment. Both very similar plays.
What does this say?
That is,
Chick-fil-A touchdown? This is
Yes.
against Ohio State?
that is the A.D. Mitchell go-ahead touchdown against Ohio State.
I would argue, is the Kenny McIntosh run more important in that game?
What Kenny McIntosh run?
Doesn't Kenny McIntosh tackle himself on like a 70-yard run?
Yes. It's like a...
Is that on that possession? Oh, no, they go
No, that's the
Stetson Bennett quarterback run off the edge.
Yeah, that's
to
like the
score that
first
possession.
half that
Okay.
happens.
It's a very similar play to the Alabama touchdown, isn't it? It's back corner of the end zone, inside the 20s.
No, not similar at all.
Oh, how's it go?
A.D. Mitchell's Bama touchdown was a free play, just run a streak with
Okay.
50-yard bomb.
And then the Ohio State.
The Ohio State was a deep out in the back of the end zone where Stetson Bennett catches someone in man coverage, throws it, and he ultimately, it's like a back shoulder S throw where he comes back and catches it with his body. But both incredible plays. You definitely don't beat Ohio State without that touchdown. The lad FSU scramble is a lot of fun, but 80's certainly getting the nod there.
AD had 2 elite, monumental, historical plays in Georgia lore. Nick Chubb, touchdown versus North Carolina versus the miss at midnight.
The miss at midnight's going to make a deep run in this category, I think. It's such an iconic moment. The play itself isn't all that exciting. It's a missed field goal, obviously, but a missed field goal to send you to the national championship for the opportunity to back-to-back. Your undefeated season is safe. You've just had this emotional comeback against Ohio State. It's one of the more iconic moments in Georgia football history, so I agree with that one.
It's one of the
Definitely
more
gets the nod.
memorable moments of my young career at the time. I was in the tunnel watching that with what I can only assume to be Brian Hartline's wife. And we were doing the same thing. We were waiting to get onto the field, however the game ended. And I'm stuck in the tunnel because I don't have a field pass at the time. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then we turn around and realize that the whole entire in-house television big screen monitor thing is right behind us. So me and her are literally sitting there watching the biggest game of our lives through a window. It was kind of cool because you got all of the camera angles in the entire stadium,
And you also got the outside environment of it.
Yeah, and you're inside the stadium.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool.
That's awesome, man.
She was sitting there holding a fresh newborn baby in the middle of that. It was midnight. That baby, oh my God. As I just had kids too, so I'm like, what in the world are you doing here right now?
Right.
No way. Coach's wife. That's what that is. Coaches' wives are insane. Any wife, relative to football world, you're a special human. All right, let's get on to, is this our quarterfinals?
This is our quarterfinals, yeah.
All right, we got the Chip 6 versus A.D. Mitchell's Alabama touchdown.
I think it's pretty obvious which going to win that one. The A.D. Mitchell Alabama touchdown is an incredible moment. We talked about why it's so significant, but the Chip 6 is arguably the most iconic play in Georgia football history. So,
okay. Is that what that's officially named, by the way? The Chip 6?
I don't know if it's officially named that, but that's kind
that?
of what it's named amongst fans of, like the you get a pick 6 to win you a chip.
All right. I'm going to let you decipher this because I was here for the Tennessee 4th and 6 touchdown pass. I was not relative to Georgia football during the Swift touchdown against Auburn.
So the DeAndre Swift touchdown against Auburn is fun. It's iconic. It's got the clip of Kirby Smart running down the sideline right behind him. Kind of just the whole energy that he brought to that team. Tennessee 4th and 6 is so ballsy. It's so legendary. And like you said, it required so many things to go right. Whereas Georgia probably wins that game if DeAndre Swift doesn't run the ball like that. You probably still get that win. So,
wasn't it a switch release?
I don't yes.
I thought they had something like
it was,
this.
Because it was man on the
and
freshman.
This was Zachariah Branch, who, by the way, on a 4th and 6, on a whip return and a rub right here, that is the primary read. So the idea that Gunnar Stockton on 4th and 6 is going to make that throw, I'm talking about huevos rancheros. Big play right there. Had to draw that up because just mentally, it's not the primary read. So the idea that we're going to play off of the primary read, by the way, I believe against a zero blitz.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so we're just an elite football play. Not to mention, that was the type of throw that everybody said he can't make. The touch throw, the layered throw, it's not a ripper.
That was his first throw of the game, too. He had a nice fade pass to Colby Young.
Colby Young
to open
off
it
rip.
up. He had an incredible game.
Yeah. I'm going 4th and 6.
I'll agree with you on that one. It's a legendary moment, and who knows how that season turns out if you lose that game.
All right, so we're on to the other side of the quarterfinals. We have Sony Michel's walk-off touchdown in the Rose Bowl versus Chris Smith's pick 6 versus Clemson. It's Sony.
It is.
Hell, if it was Lorenzo Carter's block, I would put that over the pick 6 from Chris Smith. Isn't that the same game?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's within 3 plays of each other.
Yeah.
Georgia blocks a field goal. They give it to DeAndre Swift. He gets stonewalls, and then the wild dog formation.
That field goal in overtime? Uh-huh. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sony gets the nod there. Both incredible plays, but I think just for what Sony was, and at this point, it's like if Georgia doesn't win that game, that is the end of Sony Michel and Nick Chubb's career at Georgia. So for that to be the way to kind of send them off to one more game was very fun to watch.
Are these in the same game? A.D. Mitchell's touchdown catch versus Ohio State or the midnight miss versus Ohio State?
They are in the same game. The Ohio State game had some big moments for Georgia football history.
There's one on the board over there that we didn't talk about.
Which one? Oh, the Javon Bullard hit?
Yeah,
but
Bullard
that one's controversial, and I don't like getting in the weeds of that. Of like, it was targeting or whatever. Or
it was targeting in the sense that it looked like it hurt, but it was not targeting by the letter of the law.
And also, there's people that will tell you if Marvin Harrison's not knocked out of that game, Ohio State wins. When it's like, I don't agree with that.
What, are they going to score 55?
Well, that was the other thing. It was like, I'm not going to get into the weeds of that argument. I think the plays we have are you making a decision already?
Yeah, I'm going midnight miss. I think it's a far more memorable moment from that football game.
I agree.
It is also the last one from that football game. All right, we've got our Final Four, Kirby. We've got 4th and 6 versus the Chip 6. What say you?
Ooh.
What?
I mean, I'm proud. I'm happy that the 4th and 6 went all this way. It's obviously the chip 6. I do think that the chip 6 for the moment as it was for the entire clutchness of the play. There is something just so satisfying about watching that 4th and 6 in the clutchness of it. And here's what I'll also say: the chip 6 wasn't like here's the moment where you're going to win. It was a surprise play where it's like, oh my God, we just won. The 4th and 6 against Tennessee very much felt like you got to have this right now. This is the moment. Can you live up to it? Whereas the other one's Keely Ringo making a great play.
By the way, if you lose to Tennessee last year on the road, you still have to play Alabama at
Yes.
home. Like, it was so early in the season. It was the first conference game,
It was
wasn't
the first conference game of the season.
Yeah, man. We had so many wars left to be had. If you lose that one, that season feels totally different last year.
Completely agree. So it is the chip 6, but 4th and 6 does deserve its flowers. I think it had a strong run.
All the iconic photos and memes and different things that came out of Keely Ringo's play are so great.
Agreed.
All right. Sony Michel's walk-off touchdown run versus Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl or the midnight miss in the Peach Bowl. Both ultimately kind of secure your run to a national championship game. Mm-hmm. All right. One of those.
I mean, they are
won.
they are the two plays that birthed a national championship
Appearance.
Correct. Like you do not make it to the national championship without either of those plays.
Here's what I'll say. Georgia did the Sony touchdown.
Correct.
Ohio State allowed the midnight miss to be here.
This is correct.
It was a 48-yard field goal, right?
Yeah, maybe from 50.
I mean, should be for a college kicker.
Shouldn't be shanked as bad as it was.
Now, the recall on that and the image from that I will remember is Darius Smith looked like he jumped through the moon.
Oh, my God. He was like 2 feet off the air.
Yeah, 2 feet off the ground for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought he was
3.
like 2 feet above the damn line.
Yeah.
It was. We were up there.
It was an incredible,
Might have blocked it even if the field goal was on line. I think the only reason he didn't block it was because he shanked the piss
I mean,
out.
that is, like, I've never had seen a kick like that in that moment where the second it leaves his foot, it's like, oh, he missed that.
Missed it.
He missed it.
Yeah.
So, I agree with your logic in that Georgia did the Sony play.
Yeah.
I do question, though, if the Sony play doesn't happen, you still have the ball.
You kicked the field goal anyway.
You've got Rodrigo
Blankenship's knocking the hell up
right.
out of that, and you're
so,
going
like,
to the national championship.
the game was kind of won unofficially when Lorenzo Carter blocked that field goal. You lose if the midnight miss does not happen. There's reasons for both of this. There's logic on both
What's
sides.
chat got? We'll let chat decide this one. We'll give you 5 or 6 seconds here, chat. Who do you think should win Sony Michel's walk-off touchdown against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl or the midnight miss versus Ohio State? Now, Sony's play doesn't have a midnight miss type of name to it. Does that matter at all here?
I don't believe so.
No.
It looks like chat's going Sony here. So I think Sony's the
I
fair.
would agree. All right, and that means the Chip 6 wins, right? I mean, it secured you a national title.
Dude.
It secured you an opportunity to go to one and lose it.
I mean, if
Heartbreakingly.
like the Sony Michel touchdown is iconic. It's great. It is the perfect way to cap off 4 touchdowns in a Rose Bowl game for a beloved running back. At the same point, I don't know if there's another play in Georgia football history that has made more grown men, more grown women cry than the Chip 6. It will forever go down as one of, like, there will never be a moment that matches up to that. God forbid Georgia goes another 40 years without a national title. There will not be a moment where in a singular play, in a singular defensive performance, 41 years of anguish, 41 years of disappointment, 41 years of torture comes to a close. You're never going to have that in Georgia football history, probably not at least in my lifetime. So, yes, the Chip 6 will always win these types of brackets. However, that was fun to go through and see which of those plays.
You want to play Guess That Dog?
Let's play Guess That Dog. I also watched an old game if you want notes on that, if we have time.
Yeah, I'm sure we do. I was a member of the 2018 signing class, Kirby.
2018 signing class, so that means you're probably playing in the 19 through 21. Okay.
All right. I'm doing this on the fly, by the way. I was a top 100 player in the 2018 signing class.
All right. I don't really keep up with who was ranked where when they signed, so that doesn't help me a ton.
I had a teammate, high school teammate, on the roster when I signed.
A high school teammate on the roster when I signed.
Okay. I once got my face ran through by Javon Kinlaw and then immediately put him on his back the next play.
Ooh. Okay. Maybe getting a little bit better, closer.
I was listed as an interior offensive lineman, specifically a guard, coming out of high school. Don't know if that helps you out. I have a cousin that might start against us week 3 of this year's SEC slate.
Oh, God. Week 3 is Arkansas. I don't know who's related to who in that.
They have the same last name.
I don't know. Who?
I'll give you another one. I went to Houston County.
Jamari Sawyer?
Good guess. My teammate was Jake Fromm, by the way.
My teammate was Jake. I know Malik Herring and Jake Fromm were crosstown
Chat's
rivals.
already got it. Matthew Joyner got it early. It's Trey Hill.
Okay.
My cousin's Antoine Hill, by the way.
Makes sense.
He's the backup, listed as a backup for Arkansas. Might start, though, because he played with Silverfield at Memphis. This is a decent little on-the-fly guess, that dog.
Yeah, not bad.
I don't think I helped you out. I think if I'd have given it more time, I might have gotten better clues there.
I didn't, deep dive and know, who was ranked where they were from.
Yeah.
I knew, who was what stars, but I couldn't tell you, he was the 17th pick in that class, and he went to this high school. That wasn't really my bag growing up.
It was really impressive by Matthew Joyner right there. He got it before I even told you about high school teammates. That's impressive. Maybe just a decent guess. Oh, he's from Houston County area. He says, shout out to the 478. So, yeah we're right in his ballpark.
He had a little bit of an advantage over me.
The thighs on Trey Hill. My God.
He was a thick
That
one.
dude's lower half was thick. What do you got for me? What game did you watch recently?
Ooh, all right, I'll give you some facts to kind of give you hints on this.
You're playing ball today, brother. I got to let you know. You're playing ball. Go ahead.
Georgia did not score its first touchdown until the second half of this game.
Is this Arkansas 2020?
Wow, impressive. It was. What gave that away?
I guessed it last week and missed.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I remember this game being 9-3
It was
going
disgusting.
into half because Dwan Mathis was wetting down his leg.
They were down 5-7.
Who is that line? Bumper Pool. Bumper Pool caught a body on the sideline.
Changed the trajectory of Dwan Mathis' career. Georgia scored 22 points in the final 6 minutes of the third quarter. They had 11 penalties for more than 100 yards in the first half. Peak 2020. We got no. Yeah.
This also was the game where I was like, what in the hell are they teaching on the offensive line? Owen Condon had missed assignments. Mm-hmm. Not got his butt whipped. I'm talking about went the wrong way 4 different times in that football game. It blew my mind. SMU Mustang.
Couple of preliminary notes from this game because this was a tough watch. The alternate jerseys, so clean.
You like those?
We got to bring those back, dude. I love them.
Yeah, the red pants don't do it for me.
I like the red pants. I like the stripes on the shoulder. I like the straight block lettering, no outline.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of red pants.
I liked it. I thought it looked very good. I'm not. This isn't political. The mask thing was so dumb. There's a
shout out Jeremy Pruitt.
Shout out ET.
Shout out Jeremy Pruitt.
So Tara Talmadge is the sideline reporter for this. She does her first hit on the sidelines, fully masked up. You can't hear her. She sounds like this while she's doing her entire hit.
I'm laughing because the Nick Saban, I can't hear what you're saying. I have no idea what. Tries to put the headphones on and then just throws the headphones down and walks off.
Yeah, I mean, just that whole entire and I know there's a lot of nuances behind that. It's funny that the next hit she does, mask completely gone, nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
there's players on the sidelines that are pulling him down. Just very funny looking back on that time. The only thing
nothing about 2020 was funny to me looking back on that. But yes, you're right.
I think at this point I can look far enough and be like, wow, that was stupid. The empty stadium's very wild, but the perfectly aligned people in the stadiums were the wildest part.
Yeah, that was the weird thing to me. It's like, oh, we can't be within 5 feet of each other, but yeah, y'all can sit in pools with your family. Just make sure you're sitting 10 feet from the other people.
Yeah, again.
What are we doing?
Again, made no sense.
Remember that time Dan Mullen claimed that Texas A&M should be looked into
because they had more than
what they were supposed to have, and then blamed the loss on that?
Yeah, it was peak Dan Mullen. All right, some notes on the games. I forgot Felipe Franks was the starting quarterback for Arkansas.
Yeah.
When he took the field, I was like, oh, my God.
2 straight years.
Yeah. Blast from the past there. Also forgot Tyreek Stevenson returns a punt in this game.
Huh?
Fourth quarter, they had Tyreek Stevenson out there returning punts. Kearis Jackson, underrated punt returner, had some really solid punts returns in that game. So the weird thing about this, Georgia very obviously had not named a starter up to that point. Because when the first offensive drive starts for Georgia, it's like, all right, who are we going to see? Are we going to see Dwan Mathis? Maybe we're going to see JT Daniels. Ultimately, it's Dwan Mathis. And I got to be honest, he started out really strong in this game. He has a nice scramble for a first down. It gets called back because of a hold. He converts a first down to George Pickens in his next pass. He has a few nice reads on read option plays. Like, the offense was kind of moving smoothly.
And then bumper pool murders him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and something. He's running towards the side and kind of just casually jogging. Gets baptized by bumper pool. Here's the stat. After that bumper pool hit, would you like to hear this? He completed 1 pass for positive yardage over the next 5 offensive drives.
I thought he only got 6 total drives in the football game.
He did.
So the bumper pool hit happened on the first drive?
The bumper pool hit happens
God.
on the first drive. The next 5, he has 1 completed pass for positive yards. The other 2 are tackled at the line or behind the line of scrimmage. The fumbling the snap to knock them out of field goal range was what ultimately got the, hey, you're out of here, buddy. Richard LeCount made some great plays in this game, had a fantastic game. He has 2 interceptions. The one-handed pick is great. He also gives up the only touchdown of the game. Just has a guy run right by him.
So this is the football game where Jamie Newman opts out of the season midway through camp.
Yep.
And then is it going to be Dwan Mathis or is it going to be Carson Beck? Is that correct?
Is it going to be Dwan Mathis? Like, no one knew. Like, there was a prospect of like, hey, maybe JT Daniels is going to be healthy by the time. He's a former 5-star. Maybe this freshman Carson Beck kid's got it. Maybe that Stetson Bennett guy might have an opportunity.
That's what I'm getting at. What chat's talking about right now. I don't remember where I was. I might have been where I wasn't supposed to be. But I remember talking to Carson Beck's people about that. And they said that dude played like a god during fall camp. Dwan Mathis did. They said he played like he was about to be the best college football player that had ever seen the face of the planet. And then he goes up to Arkansas and it just live bullets start flying and he can't put it together.
Well, that's what I was, and again, he, the first 5 or 6 plays, he's playing in rhythm. He's doing a good job. He's making smart reads. The throws are accurate. That bumper pool, the perfect epitome of that is he's running to the sideline the first drive, gets killed by bumper pool. The next drive is a 3rd and 11. He has the angle to get a first down and runs out of bounds 2 yards short of the first down because he was so scared of getting hit. Something truly got rattled him in that. So unfortunate for him because obviously the Dwan Mathis experience is not something that Georgia fans look fondly on. But Stetson Bennett enters the game, and we know what happens from there. You can kind of just feel his confidence. He immediately converts a 4th down on his first drive in. The takeaway that I had from this, and something that I kind of forgot, I forgot how much he developed mechanically from start 1 to where he ended up being. He looked physically different, obviously, but mechanically, completely different player. And that might be something that you look into or want to do a mini segment on or a film study of 2020 Stetson versus 22 Stetson, just from a mechanics standpoint.
Any guesses on where Dwan Mathis played college football last year?
Last year?
Last year, Dwan Mathis
Temple.
played in 7 games, making 1 start.
He was a wide receiver.
Missed the final 4 games due to an injury. Finished with 580 yards passing and 3 touchdowns.
Where?
Have you ever heard of Davenport?
Can't say that I have.
Davenport University is where he played his last year of college football. And did play wide receiver at Temple, but he went to Davenport to try to play quarterback and ended up backing up. Made 1 start last year.
Good for him.
I
think Wikipedia still thinks he's on the roster. I don't believe he is, but
no, Stetson Bennett developed so much mechanically from his.
Oh, excuse me. He's playing arena football, and he's clearly a wide receiver in arena football right now.
That's what I was going to say.
Man, what an athlete, though. That guy could play some ball. The high school tape was fun, too.
I bet.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett developed a ton mechanically. Georgia's entire reason they won this game, or not the entire reason, but the entire reason they dominated this game was aided by the fact that Stetson drove them down the field. They always had good field position in this game, returning punts, turnovers. They get a touchdown, immediately get an Eric Stokes pick. Then they block a punt, get good field position. Georgia goes up again. They had 22 points in the third quarter. They went on a 32 unanswered points to win 27-10.
You mentioned that Stetson improved a lot mechanically. I'll never forget him telling me that when he came back to Georgia after spending a year at Jones or wherever the JUCO he was at.
Right.
I think it was Jones Community College, wasn't it?
I believe so.
The year after he spent a year at JUCO, he told me it took him 6 months to throw a spiral again with the Nike ball.
Interesting.
In that interview that I had with him. He said for 6 straight months it didn't come out of his hand the right way. That it took him a really, really long time to feel every ball come out the right way in the same way.
That makes sense.
And it's because what I've talked about for years with those Nike balls, the points on them are so almost triangular that there's no room for miss. Do I have a Duke? I have a Duke. The Duke is the best football ever made, okay? I wholeheartedly believe this. Even when you measure it against like a high school football, it's just so much easier to throw if you have big enough hands because it's a wider football, okay? But there's more room for error. You see how his ball almost looks like cylindrical? The point is non-existent. It almost looks flat, all right? When this thing cuts through the air with any type of nose tilt at all, it actually manages it pretty well because the ball is aerodynamic in and of itself. High school balls have a little bit more of a point. Do y'all see that? They come to a little bit. Nike balls look like they literally have a triangle at the end of them. So if the ball gets tilted at all, the wind doesn't roll around this thing. It has to cut through the wind, and it wobbles at a higher rate. Super nerdy, but it's the reality. Grab a Nike ball and throw it. You'll be like, that doesn't feel right. And you grab a Duke, and you're like, that's how it's supposed to be. You agree?
I mean, yeah, I kind of like the Nike balls, but
not a fan.
Different strokes.
Literally.
Pun intended.
One of us has a good one.
Okay.
One of us played linebacker.
You played center.
Yeah, but I could sling that pill, baby. 1%er.
What?
Yeah, I can sling that pill. I had fun tonight. Did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, that's why I always love.
Hope you guys hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Hope you enjoyed it. Love you. We'll see you on Thursday. No, we won't. I have an event I have to go to. So no show on Thursday. I think I told you this.
Yes,
I haven't told
you
the
did.
audience this. I'll be in Atlanta bumping elbows with important people.
For the audience? What is the plan for next week?
What's next week?
Next week is the lead up to the 4th of July.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Love you. Bye.